everyone, and welcome to another episode of World's Finest. We're your hosts for the evening. As always, I am Lee, and I'm here with my buddy L.T. What's up, dude?
Hey, brother, how you doing?
I am good, man. I am good. Cold. I'm cold. I'm
It
good.
has been. It has been. Even down here in Texas, it's been cold.
What's happening, man? I mean, I've seen places that don't usually get snow. Getting snow here on Facebook and stuff like that. It's
Right.
cold down in Texas. It's been excruciatingly cold here in Virginia, like just bone chill cold. I can't stand it. We've had some snow too, though. So I've always said if it's going to be cold, then at least let it snow.
Yeah,
We've
well,
had that.
we haven't gotten that. It's, we've gotten that light drizzle, light rain. If it did get that cold, it would definitely be snow. But, it's just that biting wind sometimes and then when you get wet, it's you're at 40 degrees. Yeah, it's not fun.
Dude, I much prefer a spring or summer day than this. Right. So, dude, we got a lot of good stuff to talk about, man. A lot of shows are popping off here in the new year already. Why don't we kick it off with Book of Boba? I'll let you share your thoughts, and then I'll give you mine.
Well, I mean, ever since they were, it was introduced in The Mandalorian, or actually teased, and then we finally saw Boba, come out. We were teased with a show, a Book of Boba, and to have his own show, a follow-up of what what transpired after, or actually his how he got out of the Sarlacc pit. I love Boba. I love Boba Fett as a character since, back in the Empire days, and then the expanded universe where he did survive the Sarlacc pit. We were told that expanded universe was not going to be canon, and yet we're seeing something that transpired from that, him escaping the Sarlacc pit. Whether the rest of the story, what we're seeing now, is part of that story, I don't know. I wasn't really, I didn't really read up on that back in the day, but so far I'm really loving it. There's a lot of naysayers so far, but we're barely into, episode 4 just dropped this week. He got a little bit of vengeance in him. At first we were just him, basically getting his ass kicked several times. Like, wait, that's not the Boba we know. So, again, I love it. And it's 6 episodes, right? Correct? Or is it 7?
I think it's 7. I think that might be what it is.
I'm not sure. Well, it just dropped 4. Where if anything, we're midway, and now we're just headed into some badass kickassery. And I'm having fun. I love it. How about you?
Well, my friend, I'm one of those naysayers, I guess. As you said, there's been 4 episodes. I'll take off from a couple things you said. First of all, I think the show's boring. I do. I will say it's gotten better. If we had reviewed this, at 2 episodes in, then my marks would have been, I mean, they're still low. Because I feel like it's a chore for me to watch Boba Fett. I'm not like, it's not ending and I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to see the next episode. I have not felt that way yet. But I have felt that the episodes have gotten better as they go along. But that's not saying a lot because it was already way down here for me. I think this show is one of the best. Maybe it was best left a mystery character that's supposed to be so kick-ass and awesome. Maybe we just let that mystery lie with him. You know what I mean? We don't need to go in depth because I think right now, a lot of people, to your point, you mentioned Boba Fett got his ass kicked. He was getting beat down by the Tusken Raiders all the time. They did eventually take him in, so that was cool. I think the timeline is a little bit wonky. I think we're getting a little, as far as how long he was there. I guess it was years that he was in the Sarlacc pit, which it didn't seem that way. Or
when he got out, when he showed the sail barge and everything, just decimated and charred and everything. So we doesn't really show you how long, how long it was been like that, supposedly being in the Sarlacc pit, digested over what, thousands of years is supposed to be. Yeah. So, I don't really know the timeline either. We just know that we see already, people have taken over Jabba the Hutt's, gang or his syndicate. We've seen
Mhm.
as of this
Bib
past episode.
Fortuna.
Yeah, Bib
Yeah,
Fortuna.
yeah.
This past episode we run into when he meets what's her face? Forgot her name. The his sidekick. I forgot her name. Oh my god.
Uh,
Ming Na Wen's character. It's very unprofessional. I mean, I don't remember her name, but we're barely seeing, you know,
Fennec Shand. Fennec
yeah,
Shand. Yeah, that came to me. So,
so they haven't really been, pinpointed how long it's been.
well, I bring it up because the only reason when he was going back to get vengeance on the Starlight Pit, he said all those years ago, that's where, he's, so maybe I don't know if he was in their years or the timeline that he was with the Tuscans, because he does seem to form a close bond. Maybe he spent years with those guys, but it seems like years have passed by the time he had gone back to get his vengeance by shooting the Starlight Pit and all of that stuff and shooting the Raiders. So who knows? But I just feel like there are some cool things that are happening, I guess, and that maybe they're putting all their pieces in place. But for me, it's just been, kind of like a blah show. And maybe they will pick up. I think this cool thing is I really honestly believe that Han Solo will make an appearance here at the very last episode, kind of like what Luke did here at the Mandalorian for season 2. I do think that's going to happen. I think then obviously the cool factors, the cool points for me will rise dramatically if that was to be the case. If that's how Boba Fett ends, with a little shared scene between those two.
There's
But for the
obviously Amando's going to come out. I mean, obviously, the end of this last episode, they had his little theme song play off, the scene. If you notice that, so he's going to come out at least next couple episodes or so.
Yeah.
So,
I will say that I've enjoyed the present day scenes way more than the past scenes. Yeah, anytime that they show him which I'm glad in the 4th episode they make a note of saying that his time in the Bantha pod is over. He's fully healed now. So thank goodness for that. Because anytime they showed him laying in that Bantha pod, it was like, oh my God, it's already boring, but here comes even the more boring part of it with the showing flashbacks of him with the Tusken Raiders. I know, I'm sorry, guys. It's just I've just been kind of disappointed in the show. So I hope hope the next Star Wars show comes out swinging a little bit harder, because for me this one's been on the negative side. On the negative side, I hate to say it.
Yeah. Well, I particularly like the flashback scenes versus the new part.
Oh, okay. Well, we have to agree to
Only
disagree on this one.
because this is basically a continuation from the original trilogy. That's how I'm seeing it. As far as his story, all the way, and then when he comes back and what modern day, what he's trying to do, the modern day, his little gang of Power Ranger bicycle podsters, I do not like them. That was just, they had the slowest chase in the history of Star Wars through the streets of Mos Espa. It was just horrible. I like I said, it's particularly I like the whole all the flashback scenes, and I think we should be getting. I mean, hopefully we'll see some kind of Han Solo flashback scene. That's how I'm seeing. I don't see we're going to see him here in the future. I mean, again,
I do.
I don't.
I think the flashback scenes might be done.
After that, well, after he got his Slave One back.
Yeah, I think because they made a point, unless they start flashing back in a different way, because he'd always be in the Bantha pods when he would flash back. And like I said, they made a note, made a point of saying when he got out of that he was completely healed.
He was done.
There was really no more. So I think the flashback scenes now are done. They showed us how he got, they showed it was kind of cool where they showed the Mandalorian. Remember at the end of Mandalorian, they showed this guy with boots walking up in season 1 to get Fennec Shand. To get them, and so they this one kind of took us to that point to show, at least in the flashbacks now, it's caught up to where they were in the Mandalorian season 1.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think there might be 1 or 2 more, but unless they do it in a different way, I think hopefully, I know you like them, but hopefully they'll be done with them and we can just focus on what's going on in the present day. But again, it is Star Wars. this has been a show that has made me ask myself, am I a Star Wars universe fan, or am I a Star Wars fan of the original characters from original trilogy?
Right.
Luke, Han, Leia, Chewie, and Lando, C3, that little whole bond and rapport that those guys had. And I don't know. Maybe that's just these new shows are making me realize that, man. It's sad. It's sad realization upon me that's happening. But is Star Trek now my favorite Star type show? I don't know. We'll see.
Right. Well, that being said, do you think it's going to go beyond season 1? Are we going to have season 2? Is there really a need?
Yeah, I think so, because it depends on where they leave us in present day.
Yeah.
I mean, if we focus now on the present day story and him trying to take over from the Jabbas or from the Hutts, and really maintain his authority there, then yeah, I think if we focused on that and maybe we could get a good show out of it, because we want to see the underbelly of the Star Wars universe. You know what I mean? The mafia
Yeah.
type stuff. I think that's very interesting. That hasn't really been fully explored. We got a lot of it in Solo.
Which I'm hoping that kind of trickles into this.
Yeah, I think it could. I do think it could. So
at least the whole, I believe, what was the name of that syndicate? The Crimson something.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
I forgot, but I hope that's somehow mentioned, or even it plays into the end of this. Maybe they're the background characters of this whole
could very well be, man.
Syndicate. But
that would be cool if they did that. So we shall see, I guess. But it's got a few more episodes to kind of really up its game quite a bit.
Right.
So, all right. Well, cool. We've had another awesome show, man, that I think kicked off here on HBO Max, which I will say this. Talking about Peacemaker, and I am pleasantly surprised by this show.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's great.
So good.
I never would have thought that I loved a show about a DC character that I have no idea about until a few months ago. Like, I don't remember ever reading anything about him, seeing anything about him, knowing anything about him until the Suicide Squad came out and we were introduced to his character.
Right.
And now he's been brought over here into his spinoff. We're talking about John Cena's character, Peacemaker, of course, like I said. It's just a great show, man. It's funny. The dialogue is awesome. Vigilante, even though to me he is just he's copying Deadpool.
Right.
But it's so funny in his own. He's funny in his own right. Yeah, his shtick. It's so funny in his own right, man. I love it. I love his little rants, and stuff like that. It's just good. The show is just fantastic all around. It's been 4 episodes so far. The opening credit scene,
the
best opening credit sequence to any show ever, in my opinion. I love it. I want to learn that dance, man. I want to learn that dance. I want to learn that choreography. Yeah.
You want to taste it?
Yeah, dude. I love it. I think it's great, man. So, I mean, I can't say enough good things about it. I love the story. I love where it's going. I love all the references to the DC universe that's out there.
Yeah, the back characters, that they're pulling up. Like, they talked about Batman, Batmite, matter eating lad from the there's a bunch. They just throw a bunch of names out there, and how he feels about Batman, and he hates Aquaman.
I know, that was crazy to read about Aquaman there in the very beginning. But no, dude, I just love it, man. I'm guessing I'm sorry I've been hogging up the beginning of this talking about that, but what do you think?
Oh no, I loved it too. I mean, it takes place directly after that last scene of the movie, The Suicide Squad. And I love how we're getting to see him not just being like, at the end of the movie, he was basically the bad guy. He was following orders basically, and he unfortunately, he killed Rick Flag without any remorse. At least that's what we thought. Now we're seeing Peacemaker. He's got more to him, he's got feelings. He's really thinking about things. That's really haunting him, what he had to do to kill Rick Flag. And we're seeing his backstory about his brother, how mistreated he was by his father, who's is a racist bigot the what's his name? The white dragon,
Red Dragon.
red
Oh,
dragon,
White
something
Dragon.
like
Okay, yeah.
that. Which actually I don't know anything about that character in DC. I need to
Right.
look that up. Well, we're seeing a lot of his backstory, and he's not just, I mean, he still comes off real dumb, like, oh, I was, he thought he believed in butt babies and stuff. And
Yes. So
but
crazy.
he's got a heart, that whole scene where he didn't want to kill that kid. I mean, technically it wasn't a kid, it was a butterfly.
Yep.
Until he had just vigilante took over. And then the whole supporting cast, we find out that that one girl is Amanda Waller's daughter. Spoiler alert, sorry people. We find out in episode 1, right? That's
Yes, we do. Yep. We get a cameo
from Amanda Waller, or
yep.
Viola Davis, right?
Yep. Viola Davis. Yep. Correct.
And all the side characters, the one he's like wants to hook up with, Harcourt, I think. Harcourt.
Yep. Harcourt. Yep.
That nerd guy, I kind of, I don't know his name yet, but all
You talking
these,
about the team that he's working with?
yeah, all those side characters, his side
Oh
team,
man, they're great.
they're all great.
Harcourt. Yeah, they
Yeah,
are.
and
Okay.
they
And
work
then
great as an ensemble. It's no one's too overpowering. I'm really enjoying it. I love the vulgarity. I love the gratuitous violence.
yep. Yeah, and that's a James Gunn staple from his
Yeah.
Trauma days, Trauma Studios.
From what I've read, James Gunn was given free reign to do whatever he wanted. Yep. Yeah, and you could tell, because there's a lot of stuff I don't think DC would have sanctioned.
No, probably not. You were talking about Diebeard, the geeky guy. John Economos. Yeah, John Economos was his name in the show. And Emilio Harcourt is the other character. And what about the episode 4 ends on a kind of a crazy little twist there?
Oh yeah.
That Clemson Murn, I guess he's running the side squad of the Suicide Squad under Amanda Waller, and he's a butterfly.
The butterfly. We find out.
Butterfly. Mm-hmm. Watch these butterflies not be bad people.
Well, I mean, one of them tried to what's his face, the judo guy.
He's trying to tell him, he was like, it's not what you think.
It's not what you think, and then boom, he gets shot. Now,
what about Judo Master? What do you think about Judo Master?
Always eating chips. I love no, a little what do you call it? A little karate master. I like that whole part where he was fighting the rematch with John Cena. No, he's a cool character. I'm trying to see how. I don't remember if they mentioned or previewed any other bad guys as far as him as like side character.
They haven't shown anything.
Yeah, they haven't shown anybody. But I'm really, really loving this show. I asked my daughter if she started, and she has not. I don't know why, but she said she would, and I know she's got she's got my geek side to her, and she will love it. I mean, anyone who's seen it just loves it, and it's being really reviewed well by a lot of people.
It totally is.
I mean,
I hope I don't know what the ratings look like, but the reviews, like you said, have been fantastic. I hope the ratings are good too for it.
And that's a show you could probably just keep on making. You don't have to end at a certain point. I
right. It did say, I did get confident, or my sources have given me word that meaning I was perusing websites myself, and that will be in another DC Universe film. He's gonna Peacemaker. Maybe it'll be the Flash. I don't know. Cool. Maybe he'll pop up there for a bit, but we will see him in another movie, or in a movie in the theater. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
well, no, I like John Cena. He's got at least in this aspect. Maybe in other movies I've seen him in, but this character fits him. This whole persona, it really fits him, and I'm really happy. DC, James Gunn was given the creativity to make this show, because you've heard horror stories about their WBs meddling in DC properties and movies and everything
all the time.
and this just goes to show you can have an R-rated type show and it'll be really good,
Yeah, it's great. I love it. Like I said, and I'm just really pleasantly surprised.
Now this one has what, six episodes, seven? I'm not
No, I think
sure.
this is 9 or something like
Oh
that. I
crap.
think
See,
like
I'm so
yeah,
behind on everything like that.
I feel like it's about 9 or at least 8 or 9 episodes for sure. So we're gonna get a nice little run, and because we got all 3 released at once, so we're at 4, so we're about, almost at the halfway mark. Really,
Right.
4 episodes already
That
out.
that first 3 episodes really felt like a really good movie, part one of a movie, and then while we're
Yep.
seeing part two of a movie, it was a
Yeah,
great introduction and ending to like a cliffhanger type ending. And it was smart for them release those 3 at one time, I
I
think,
agree.
right? So
Now we might have talked about this before. Do you like where are you with the whole streaming thing? Are you liking the show to have every episode released on one day? Or do you like having this whole, because now Netflix started this whole thing, right? And everybody was
right.
getting, they still drop everything at once. And now recently, like HBO Max is one, and Disney Plus also, as
One
opposed to, dropping them all at once, they do them weekly. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, actually I can go either way. It is nice to binge sometimes when you have the time, and because not you don't really have all the time to catch it when it airs. But I will give you that it does give a lot of people, what to talk about, in anticipation of the next show. It's just like, I think it is worthwhile for them to tease you and keep you coming back and back, rather than you binging it once and then
Yeah, right.
you have to wait like a whole year for season 2.
I would give you that because I think what happened with binging all at one time with the Netflix model is it kind of took away the water cooler talk because everybody's binging things on their own at their own speed. So
Right.
you might have a buddy, you go to work the next day and you're like, oh dude, you want to talk about something on Netflix, but they're like, oh, I'm on episode 4 and you're already on episode 9. You can't tell, can't tell me, don't tell me. But while the weekly thing is, most people make a point to watch it the day it's released, and then they come into work or whatever the next day, for the water cooler talk is what I'm saying, the quote unquote,
Right.
and be able to talk with your buddy right then, because then you can talk about, like, if it's released on Wednesday, more likely you watch it on Wednesday, and then you can talk about it with your buddies on Thursday. So I think that's the one bonus to me, having it like that. Otherwise, you kind of disjoint it with your conversations with your friends because everybody's in a different spot.
Yeah. On
But I
top
do
of
like,
that,
yeah,
on top of that, you have to like avoid certain websites or certain
yeah,
Facebook posts that tell you everything.
yeah,
No.
that's true. For instance, Ozark just popped out this weekend,
Oh God, I
and
love
I
that show.
love Ozark, but I haven't started it yet. But they're already talking about the finale of what happened in this past
No,
one
I
that just
don't want to
dropped,
hear.
and I'm like, oh shit, I haven't even started it. You know what
I
I mean?
don't
So
want to hear.
you gotta get off the Facebook and the Facebooks and and all that,
God, I love
and
that show. I
being,
love that
yeah,
show.
I do too. It's so good. But I haven't even started it. But I'm trying to avoid all these little things from all these little
Mm.
sites I usually visit because they're all talking about things that happen. So, uh, so man, since this week also was some really cool news. I know I am looking forward to the Batgirl
Oh yes,
movie.
another HBO
Uh,
Max.
Another HBO Max film. It has been confirmed, though, that Michael Keaton is the main Batman in this universe. I honestly don't know how I feel about that. I'm not a big fan. I just hate that if they're making this the main DC extended universe, that means our Batman's going to be 70 some years old.
I
And
mm,
just don't, I can't get down with that. You know what I mean? Now if they were doing Batman Beyond and another type of Elseworld story, then have that 70-some-year-old Batman. But to me,
ah, I love that.
I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I
Well,
don't like that. But I'm excited about the Batgirl film. I'm just saying
we
that
don't
one aspect about the whole
we
thing I
don't
don't
know
like.
how he's going to play out. I mean, we just don't know. I mean, is his reintroduction in the Flash coming up before this show going to explain how a
Mhm.
70-year-old Batman is going to be the main Batman? I mean, Are we in a different multiverse? It just there's so many questions that need to be answered. I love Michael Keaton, but yes, I see why you're yeah, we don't want a 70-year-old Batman.
That is our main Batman.
That is our main Batman.
It just and it takes away all these. And the news is that there's going to be. I know we started talking about Batgirl, but this all kind of pertains to that too. There's been other things that have popped off that said that the main from the Flash movie is going to be a new Justice League formed, and the new Justice League is going to be Supergirl. There's not going to be a Superman in this universe, I guess. So it'll be Supergirl. That they're going to introduce in the Flash. Oh my gosh, who else is it? Is it going to be
Woman and
Batgirl?
Batgirl.
Yeah, it's like, okay, that's great and all, but like I just DC is really screwing this stuff up, man. In my opinion, Now all that being said, I do think the Batgirl suit, which is what I started talking about, that was released, looks awesome. I think it looks like a good.
It's true to the current comics, New 52 comics and everything.
It is. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I like it. I think it looks good.
Oh yeah, it's got that ode to the original suit in the 66. You got the purple and the yellow. It's very I'm wondering if we're going to see another suit, because all Bat families have different suits throughout their progression into movies or whatever. So I'm hoping we see another one, but for the most part, yes, that first one is good. A lot of people are already hating it because it's too cosplay looking, but
Right.
it's you look at the comics, it's the same thing. It's
Yeah.
So they've
They're
released.
probably gonna
I was saying they've released her in different shots of her on the building, her on the streets, or in that outfit. So it might be the main and only outfit we see. I don't care. It looks really good.
If we do get another outfit, my guess is going to come from Batman, and give her more of
a full
high grade,
yeah,
high grade thing. That's my guess, and maybe that's where it comes from. If it does, because he is going to make an appearance, like I said in the film. I don't know, man. I am looking forward to it. I just wish it was going to be a Batman that was closer to her age, and we could see a real Bat family, which we've yet to ever see on screen, ever. To see the Bat family, which I think would be incredible if we actually got to see it. There's rumors too in Batgirl that Dick Grayson's going to be introduced.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say.
The guy she's dating is supposed to be Dick Grayson, which is fine too. But then Dick Grayson to the 70-some-year-old Batman, it's just
No.
I can't. I just can't seem to get it right. Maybe I'll love it all when it comes out here in a year. Who knows? But
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love Michael Keaton. He is. I love Batfleck right now as Batman, but Michael Keaton is my Batman. We'll just have to see how they do. I hope they don't try to de-age him a la Marvel and keep him like that through the whole movie, because that's probably it's too expensive to have a de-age Michael Keaton for a whole movie.
Now, if they did do that, I would be like, okay, at least they're trying to act like he's 30-some years old, but that would be so weird to me that they did that. Like to your point, I think that would be terrible to do as well.
Maybe in flashbacks, maybe stuff like that. We can get some flashbacks with him and Batman and Robin. If they're going to introduce Dick Grayson. But yeah, for the most part, I'm with you about the 70-year-old Batman, but I'm willing to accept. And to a certain point, I need to see it.
Understood. I'm with you, my friend. I am with you. So I think we've, I did want to mention the next episode we'll probably be talking about Superman and Lois. That show just started recently.
I need to watch.
I think it teases. I won't say anything until you catch up. We'll talk about it next episode. It's a nice little tease at the end of where this might be going.
Oh, no, it's not on. It's not on HBO Max yet, right? Only season 1.
No, it's not. That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. So right now it's regular CW, correct?
Regular CW. Yeah, that is true. But it looks much better. We've talked about that before. There's much better quality than those other CW shows.
The Flash.
Yeah. Exactly, man. Just terrible stuff.
Have you been catching up, or have you even seen Batgirl after what's her face left from season 1? Batwoman. I'm sorry.
Batwoman. No, I haven't. I have not, and I think they're doing some interesting things. It sounds like they're creating other bad guys. Like I know there's a new Poison Ivy, there's a new Killer Croc, you
Yes.
know, and all these things that
They're
are coming
like
up.
new versions of all Batman's rogues. I'm not too sure what's going on. I haven't seen season 2 or 3.
Yeah, neither.
I stopped after what's her face left. Um Ruby Rose.
Yep.
And I don't know. Even that season 1 wasn't even that good. It was surprisingly they even kept up with, season 2 with someone else. I thought it would have flopped, but no,
Yeah.
they're still going.
So moving forward, you know, now there are rumors that the CW is looking, or the Warner Brothers is looking to sell the
So
CW channel or studio. So I think when that happens, I think this Arrowverse that we've had for the past few years, which I think is really time to kill it anyway, and then build on HBO Max,
HBO
build
Max.
a universe on HBO Max. Because I
It's
mean,
gonna
right now they're
go.
not even giving. They're not. The Flash is always. I've loved it. Again, when it very first came out, I thought it was awesome. You know, you guys have heard me speaking about this before, but the CW has always lied. They give you some great action, a little bit of action, and they'll fall back on the relationship drama. You know what I mean? The boyfriend and the
True.
girlfriend, or the girlfriend and the girlfriend, or the boyfriend, whatever it might be, the drama that's happening within that. You know, they just can't seem to get away from the soapiness factor on the CW. So I think if they did move everything over, you know, give us like the CW shows that just create another whatever they were trying to do with CW, do it on HBO Max, and you don't have to worry about the relationship stuff as much, the
Right.
love story that's
Right.
happening,
Right.
and the budget would be much better too.
Oh yeah. I mean, on
It's
top
time to
of
put the Arrowverse shows out of their misery.
I really I after Arrow ended, I agree. Everything just went downhill.
Yeah,
And I
it
love
did.
I watched Arrow religiously. I never missed an episode. But after that, I was, actually I watched every episode of every show, Legends, Flash, Black Lightning, Supergirl, Arrow, all of them. But once Arrow ended, I kind of stopped. I kind of like,
It was after Crisis for me, really,
yeah,
which corresponded with Arrow ending.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
So no,
um,
I'm all for them coming over to HBO Max. I mean, including, to help with the other shows, not add to the other shows. Like we're getting a Penguin show, a TV series from the Batman. We're gonna get
yeah,
a Green Lantern show.
yep, yep.
So
And,
any
and
other?
all the and all the Arrowverse is throwing us out now is called Justice U, which
Oh,
we'll mention that
what the
Diggle
hell?
is getting his own spinoff where he's supposed to be mentoring these
To
other heroes,
5
these young
other
heroes,
young heroes.
and something tells me they're going to be some made up heroes. That's why I just don't even. I don't understand why DC does this a lot of the time. So make up characters, like on Legends, those characters that are like not even heroes or like who like I'm like Gary, what are you doing on this? What?
Gary the assistant.
Yeah. And then it turns out he's an alien or something. I was just like, what? Why bring him? Ava. I mean, I like her character, but she's not a comic book character. You know,
Yeah.
she's not. She's not from comics at all. She's just some great. And now that Constantine's gone, I think they have Steel and White Canary, and then a bunch of other
Yeah, but
people.
yeah, and the guy who plays Constantine is back, but as a different character, and you're like, what? I mean,
And not a character from the comics either. I think he's a
yeah.
made up character. Yeah,
So
I don't.
yeah, no,
I don't
time
get it.
to put a bullet in the head of the Arrowverse.
I agree, my friend. I do agree.
Although I'm hoping, speaking of Constantine, we do get to see him, not him, but Constantine now in a dark Justice League. That's
Dark.
another show they're planning on HBO Max.
Yeah.
So
that should be good. Again, like you said, just stop putting all those shows on the CW. Focus on the HBO Max and give us some high quality stuff, man. That's what I want to see moving forward.
Superman and Lois.
Yes, indeed, because that's a great way to start. And their special effects look fantastic on that. Much better, 100 times better than what anything else they got going on. Well, my friend, I think that brings us to the end. I think we've said it all tonight. We've got some cool stuff coming up. Like I said, we will talk about Superman and Lois here shortly. Kind of catch you guys up with that. I think there's about 2 episodes out. We'll talk about the next 3 episodes, first 3 episodes of season 2 when we come back. That'll be something we can dive into.
Definitely.
and go into that and any other hot topics that are going on as well. But man, no, it's been fun, man. It's been fun. A lot of good stuff happening, and I've enjoyed breaking it down with you.
Yes, sir. Until next time.
Indeed,
Do it
guys.
again.
Take care, everyone.
All right, guys. Later.